Hello, friends of the channel. We're gonna rank all the Pixar movies today. There's a lot of them, so let's just get started, get right into it. So, first off, my number one, Toy Story 3. I think this is my favorite one because it sort of makes me remember what it was like for me when I was in preschool, where a lot of this film takes place. Let's move right along to number two. My number two favorite Pixar movie is Up, because it really helped popularize talking dogs in animation, in animated movies. So like the success of Scooby-Doo, the new Scoob movie that came out, yeah, we can thank Up for that. Alright, number three goes to Inside Out, because just looking at this movie is a treat for the senses. They use some really good colors in this movie, especially for the characters. Number four, funnily enough, is Toy Story 4, because I think this movie got some flack when it first came out, but I think now we can all appreciate how this movie really rounds out Buzz's character arc, because he'd been kind of struggling with that inner voice thing for all the previous movies. Now he finally figures it out at the end of Toy Story 4. So, you know, good movie in my eyes. Really good movie. Number five is Finding Nemo. Kind of trying to do a Finding Nemo. That doesn't work. Finding Nemo is number five because it helps me imagine what life would be like if I were a fish. Number six goes to The Incredibles 2. I really love sequels because they help expand the world. And so luckily for me, Pixar has a lot of sequels. So the way that they expand the world in, The Incredibles 2 is just incredible. For starters, it makes so much sense. Of course there would be rich people who had private phones to the superheroes. And now, thanks to Incredibles 2, we finally get to see what the consequences of that would be. Number seven goes to Coco. Because it's got the laughs and the feels. Alright, number eight goes to WALL-E, which is sort of like Hamlet in space. That's all I have to say about that. Number nine, people might be a little surprised by this one, but it actually goes to Brave. I like Brave a lot, because it's a really nice change of pace for Pixar. It's nice to be putting realistic people into more real situations. We've had a lot of toys, monsters, animals up through this point, and so it's just really nice to see real people in this movie. Number 10, we're already getting to the top 10, that one goes to Onward. I mostly just really appreciate the callback to Up, and you know how much I love Up. I just think it's a great callback to Up because, as you know, adventure is onward. Number 11 goes to Monsters University. Now, the same reason I like sequels, that's why I love this Monsters, Inc. prequel, because prequels can also expand the world. For example, it gives a really positive depiction of Greek life in the monster world. And it also explains to us why Randall squints. Number 12 goes to Finding Dory, because shells are a really important part of this movie. And I think that was a really smart decision. Cartoon shells are always beautiful. Number 13, unlucky 13, but not an unlucky movie, that goes to Bug's Life, one of their earlier creations. And I'm just a sucker for circus flicks. Get it? Flicks. Alright, number 14 goes to Monsters, Inc., because there's a lot of cool set pieces in this movie, and I think the humor is just really on point, very character-driven humor. And I especially like the shout-out to Ray Harryhausen that they have in this movie. So just a really clever movie all around. Number 15 goes to Cars 3, for finally giving Owen Wilson his time to shine. Number 16 goes to the original Incredibles. The Incredibles at number 16. Now you might be saying, isn't that a little low? Well, for me personally, I just couldn't really get into this movie as much as some of the other movies that I mentioned earlier on the list. Because, it's a superhero movie, but none of the main superheroes even fly. Like, you have a bad guy that can fly. Couldn't you just make one of your Incredibles fly so that they could have a fight in the air? That's what I want out of a superhero movie. Every superhero can fly, but not in this movie. Number 17 goes to Toy Story, the first one, the original one, the one that started it all. And I think it's got angry toys, but also funny toys. Number 18 goes to Toy Story 2, because, I mean, sequels are just never as good. Number 19 goes to Cars 2, which is awesome. I love Cars 2. It's really funny, but you're wondering why is it way down here? Well, there's a pretty big plot hole, and I can't put movies high because there's such a high bar for Pixar. If there's any plot holes, gotta drop it down. And there's just no way that these cars could get tied. How would cars tie other cars to a clock? It makes no sense. We're at number 20 now, and that goes to Soul, because it's got the laughs and the feels. Number 21 goes to Ratatouille. We're getting into some of the stinkers now when we get past 20. And Ratatouille, stinker. Rats stink. And again, rats can't tie knots. There's like, in the climax of the movie, they tie up two characters, these rats. Rats can't tie knots, and they can't move hair. Number 22 goes to Lightyear, because they forgot that Buzz is a toy. Number 23 goes to Luca, because I couldn't really get into the characters. I thought that they were very, like, almost Finding Nemo-esque, but not quite there. And then number 24 goes to Rescue Squad Mater, which there's a reason it's in last place, because it's only 5 minutes. It's barely even a movie. So yeah, that's my ranking for all the Pixar movies. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Pixar is a great movie company, and it was a pleasure to do this kind of ranking. Yeah.